Ooh. Oh yeah, the podcast. Oh, I forgot how this starts
Yeah,
off.
you started.
Oh yeah. Hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Bangers, Bops, and Banter. This is episode 46.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got a cool show coming up. I'm one of your hosts, Joe. I'm here with my co-host, Brendan.
I'm the co-host, Brendan.
Wow.
Wow.
So first on the show, we have some music, and well, there's no movie news, but we have some music news.
Yeah.
Then we're going to be discussing the question of the week, which is what's a classic album that you think is bad? And then we're going to talk about the Queens of the Stone Age album, Songs for the Deaf. And finally, we'll be discussing the movie Battle Royale.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So yeah, let's get into it. First in music news, DMX, legendary rapper, has unfortunately passed away.
Very unfortunately.
Very, very sad, very unfortunate. Yeah.
I mean, it was a drug overdose, right?
Yeah, he had a drug overdose, or he had a drug overdose and then had a heart attack. So, he was in critical condition for several days at a hospital, and then he passed away.
Yep.
Which is pretty sad. Yeah. Condolences to his family.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Way to start off the show, by the way.
Real fun show start. Yes. All right. Next. Gimlet Media and the Ringer unions have ratified their first labor contracts with Spotify. Let's go.
Let's
unionize go. Boys. The contracts guarantee higher minimum base pay, the diversity provisions, and more, which is pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go.
Fuck Spotify. I know I use Spotify and pay them every month for premium, but they're a shitty company.
Yeah. I have actually been thinking of switching streaming services once. Currently, it's like he is Spotify Premium student or whatever for $5 a month, which is just, it's too good of a deal.
Yeah.
For me to not use it, but once that runs out, I'm actually thinking of switching to Tidal or something. That does a lot better job of actually supporting their artists.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. No, I get that. Yeah. No, Spotify student is $5 a month, and you get Spotify, Hulu, and Showtime. So it's just,
yeah,
it's just such a deal. Can't deny it.
Yeah, but a good job on unionizing.
Yes.
And it sucks the fucking Amazon unionization effort failed, which it's really depressing.
I mean, but Amazon did its best to have it fail, so...
Yeah, they sabotaged it, quite literally. Yeah. But that's just I'm glad that some company or some union got a contract with a big company. Fuck Amazon, by the way.
Oh,
anyway. Yeah. Man. Next in music news. Taylor Swift. The fuck am I saying? Taylor Swift has unveiled her version of Fearless. You can stream it now. She re-recorded her 2008 LP, and there's also 6 bonus tracks in addition.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Go listen to that version of Fearless instead of the original.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's the one Taylor, owns, so.
Yeah.
Also, I hear lots of good things about it, lots of people preferring it to the original, so.
Yeah, that's really nice. I don't know, maybe I'll actually give it a listen. We'll see. I didn't really like Evermore or Folklore. So they're alright albums. But I don't know. Maybe Fearless will be.
I mean, Fearless is. I assume it's just back to country, like the old Taylor. So.
Yeah.
Again, I haven't listened to it, but I do plan on it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it for news then. Moving on to question of the week. What's a classic album that you think is bad? Brent, do you got any?
I mean, we talked about this on the podcast before, but like I don't like the Black Parade personally. There's like some other things like 50 Cent, Evanescence, Disturbed. I don't like.
I wouldn't.
I'm also not the biggest fan of like Linkin Park, I guess.
I don't know about like Disturbed being a classic.
Disturbed's every album is a classic.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Also, Trapped.
Trapped.
They're not like I don't like them, but I just want to say every album's a classic.
Yes.
Trapped is the greatest band.
Oh my god, top 5 album of all time.
All time.
Yeah. I don't know. I also don't know if I necessarily like. I guess the Evanescence album. I forget what it's called. It's the one that has, "Wake Me Up" on it.
Yeah, it's Fallen.
It's Fallen. It's weird. I guess people do kind of consider it a classic.
Yeah, it definitely is influential.
Yeah,
I'd say.
It's definitely interesting. Because I also don't really like that album. It's very melodramatic. It's melodramatic, and there's a lot of stuff that is like talked about on the album. Like I think there's a song where she's talking about her sister dying as a kid, I believe. It's been a while since I've listened to the album.
It's also been a while, so I don't remember.
Yeah, so I don't 100% remember, but there's a song that's about that, and that should be like super like depressing, impactful subject matter, but just the instrumentation is so like overblown. It sounds super melodramatic. It is like super like sweeping and cliched sounding basically. And it just takes all of the emotional punch out of a lot of the record. I definitely think some work could have been done on it.
Yeah.
But hey, feel free to disagree.
Yeah.
For me, probably my least favorite album that people consider a classic is it's Bad Out of Hell by Meatloaf.
Oh my god.
Which I hate. I think it's genuinely awful. It's like the worst parts of musicals and combine it with the worst parts of rock. It's very melodramatic. Something that I generally just kind of hate in music. Stuff being melodramatic to me is just like I don't understand the purpose of it, because you're never going to actually make me feel all these different feelings that you want me to. And like I know it's kind of like a campy record sort of, but it sounds so bad to me. Like it's super performative and like glamorous rock that just is like annoying and shitty to me. But yeah, we got some other answers for question of the week, which I just realized you renamed the channel to.
Did you realize what I renamed the server to?
Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm glad that our server is the baby themed.
Yes.
We need to put a baby album on the tier list, by the way. Anyway.
Ooh.
Yes, we're putting it's Baby on Baby.
Baby on Baby? Yeah.
That's that record, yeah. Nuno says Rubber Soul by the Beatles.
Which is controversial pick.
I really disagree with it. I really enjoy Rubber Soul. I think it's a fantastic record. It is like, for me, I generally really don't like a lot of like 60s classic rock, or what's considered classic rock. Stuff like the early Beatles work, or early like Rolling Stones, or early The Who and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Really not for me, but Rubber Soul, it just like works with that. Like, to me, every song on that album is just super catchy and fun and like bright, and it just like it. I really love it. I also think it's the point when the Beatles start to get a bit more experimental with their music, and I think that those little like extra bits really help that album.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of come to its own.
They were barely starting on Help, but Rubber Soul is really where they like.
Yeah.
We can try new things that don't all sound the same.
Yeah, I think it's a great record. I don't know about you, Brendan.
I like Rubber Soul. I'm not like in love with it. Mm-hmm. I definitely like it though. It's not a classic that I don't enjoy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some other picks that I disagree with more though. You know, that were in.
From Jade, she says either the Marshall Tucker Band titular album. I don't know what this album is.
I didn't actually look it up.
Genuinely, I've never heard of this group.
Oh, I think it's classic rock.
Oh, okay. I probably wouldn't like it then.
Yeah, like looks like classic southern rock.
Oh, so like. Okay,
Credence.
So it's like what the fuck, Leonard Skinner and stuff like that, which I'm not really a big fan of. She also says Graduation by Kanye West, and I don't understand
this. Bad pick. Awful. Terrible pick.
I think
Graduation's so good.
Look, it's not like my favorite Kanye album, but I do think it's still like a really great work of his. It's just so much fun. Like, I don't know. It has amazing production on it, as like basically every Kanye record does. It has like Kanye isn't like the most present on the album, I guess.
Yeah.
He's there, but he's definitely not as big of a presence as other albums. Which I don't know. It kind of depends on how.
That kind of helps.
It depends on the record for Kanye for me, because like there's like I think he's amazing on the College Dropout, but like, you know, he has some.
He has those Kanye bars.
He has those Kanye bars. But yeah, no, I think it's still a pretty great record.
Yeah, it's like Graduation is my personal favorite Kanye record, which you can all hate me for, I guess.
College Dropout, come on.
Dude, Graduation's it's just like so good. It's so much fun. It's such a good time. Kanye is the least cringe on it, so.
Yeah. And Jonah, who was on last week, says the Hamilton soundtrack. Interesting pick.
It is an interesting pick. I don't mind the Hamilton soundtrack.
Okay. I have to say, I kind of agree with him. I don't really like the Hamilton soundtrack, at least on its own. It reminds me of epic rap battles of history. And I fucking hate epic rap battles of history. Just like, no, does epic rap battles of history count as a classic?
Yes.
Just that, because I hate epic rap battles. It's like the cringiest shit.
Yes.
Genuinely, like, really like, oh man. Like, I think most of them are just super poorly written and made. I know, like, if you like them, go ahead. It's just some dumb fun, but it's like genuinely just like the worst shit to me. He says, I bet the play was good, but the songs feel kind of cringy, and I agree with that. It comes off sort of tacky. I think definitely if I watched the play, it would work a lot better, but just on its own, it does come off like tacky in a way.
I guess, like, out of context, I don't think they really work. That being said, like, I haven't seen Hamilton, but like I can understand how the songs work in context, at least. I don't just try and take them at face value, because if I did, yes, like most like musicals and stuff like that would not be good.
So, yeah. All right. I think that's it for question of the week.
And what's the question of next week,
next week question is, what the Baby album is the best.
Oh, God.
No. Next week's question is going to be, what in your opinion is the most underrated record of all time?
The most.
The
so
most
this
underrated.
Is like one dude with 5 monthly listeners on Spotify, right?
Yeah, like it could be just someone who doesn't get enough attention for their work. It could just be a record that you think is unfairly panned by a lot of people and you think is actually really great. You know, it can be just something that you think is a masterpiece and like no one knows about. So there you go.
Yeah. I'm gonna have a fun week next week.
As Brandon's gonna mention like 20 albums.
Dude. And you're not gonna know any of them. I mean, there's some that I've told you about. Like, everybody should go listen to the Paper Chase right now. They're great.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll wait for next week.
Yeah. So that'll be next week's question, and yeah. Next, we got the album to talk about.
Yeah.
It's Queens of the Stone Age with their third album, Songs for the Deaf. This is often considered their best work. I know a lot, like, people who are fans of the band, like, will fucking argue to the death about which is actually their best album.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people say their debut is, and also Rated R, and also, like, Clockwork. But,
no love for Villains, though.
No love for Villains. I feel like Lullabies, Paralyzed, and Era Vulgaris also kind of get pushed to the side usually. I saw some guy on Twitter saying like he thought Villains was better than like Clockwork, and I'm just like, what are you on about, dude? Anyway, but yeah, so Songs for the Deaf, it's their 2002 album.
Yep.
Yeah, it's probably their most well-known record. It's either that or like Clockwork.
Yeah.
But it has two of their biggest singles, No One Knows and Go With the Flow, which are pretty amazing tracks in my opinion. So, yeah, we can just get into it. I think this record's amazing.
I mean, I think it was very brave of them to title an album Songs for the Deaf and then have it be an hour of silence. Really, really experimental and stuff. Really just taking John Cage's 433 like to the extreme.
Join us next week when we do soundtracks for the blind.
But yeah, no. I mean, the silence was very interesting. Definitely, really catchy at points too. It's kind of
Friend's the type of person to listen to Disintegration loops all the way through. So
I have in fact done that.
Yeah. Ren, what do you actually think about this record?
So I definitely I feel like you're more positive on it than I am. I'm just gonna come out and say that. I definitely this album just grows on you is the thing. Like you listen to it once and you're like, yeah, this is fun, and you listen to it again, you're like, yeah, this is even more fun. And it just like the songs get stuck in your head and they get stuck on loop, you know.
That's I think this album's biggest strength is it's just like every song has a fucking hook that you can like remember and just get stuck in your head because they're really well put together. Josh, am I gonna say his last name correct?
You can try.
Josh Homme? I don't think that's
home.
Or home. Wikipedia, please. It's Homme.
It's Homme, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, he's most of the vocals on this record. I think Dave Grohl also does vocals on the shouty parts, I believe.
Okay.
At least I think so. I'm not 100% sure on that, but the they're like sort of screamed vocals, I'd say. They remind me a lot of some of the screamed stuff he's done for like Foo Fighters. But I actually can't tell.
I don't know.
No, maybe it's not him. Shoot.
I don't listen to Dave Grohl screaming that often, so I'm not much of a
It might
help
not
here.
be him. I can't. It's hard to tell. Okay, never mind. No, he's backing vocals. Nick Oliveri, I think, is probably them. He's also listed as vocals.
Okay.
But yeah, this record, yeah, it's just hooks. Like, and I think it's really great. I love the guitar tones they use too. They're super like rich sounding, I guess is what I'd call it. They're super rich and full sounding, and I think it just like it brings so much life to these songs. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely like you can there's this album's like a lot of fun. You definitely tell like where they came from though. And it's like it's not bad. It's just like there's a lot of stuff that sounds like this though.
Is there? I don't know. What did it remind you of?
I mean, so like other post grunge-esque stuff, definitely. Like the them Crooked Vultures, that record.
Well, yeah, Josh Homme's on that record.
Yeah, and also Dave Grohl.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. It's just like not, and that's not a bad thing. I like that record too. I mean, it's just like I don't know what I'm trying to say here. It's just like I can't
like I guess to me because I wouldn't even call it post grunge. I don't know. Like I guess it's technically
close. I would definitely call it just like I don't know.
Well, Wikipedia labels it as stoner rock, which is kind of actually what I'd call it more. Yeah. Stoner rock or hard rock. I don't know. I don't. It doesn't really remind me of a lot of other stuff. Is the thing. Like it's a rock record, but to me it feels unique with its sound enough to where like you can kind of tell some of the influences on it, but it's it just feels like its own thing to me.
I really think it is its own thing, and it does a good job of being its own thing. There's this like I don't know what it is, but the whole thing with like the radio station throughout.
Yeah, so this is like a loose concept album.
Yeah.
So basically it is it's supposed to be kind of like you're driving through the California desert, specifically from Los Angeles to Joshua Tree. And so like you'll hear the radio pump, and that's kind of like, or sometimes you'll hear static in between stuff, and that's like you're changing the station. Which I actually think is a cool concept. I like it. I think it's minimal enough to where it doesn't bother me while I listen, and I think it brings like some kind of life to the album. Especially there are like there's some music videos. I think it's the music video for Go With The Flow, which is literally like an animation of someone driving. I think it does a good job of kind of getting you into the mood, and I think it also does a good job of allowing, it feels cohesive, but there's still like a lot of room for different ideas to play in this record. Like you have a lot of so like on You Think I Worth $1 but I Feel Like a Millionaire, you have like this more aggressive rock style to it, whereas on the follow-up No One Knows, it's like it's much more like groovy, I guess.
Yep.
And yeah, I think it kind of allows them to like play around with the genres that they incorporate really well.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I like how that radio concept thing kind of ties the album together, even plays into some of the songs, like God Is in the Radio. I do. There are sometimes like on Do It Again, like the end of that track, like the last minute of that track is just the whole, like a radio interlude. I kind of wish that was like just a separate track, but that's just a minor.
It would be nice if the radio interludes were just put into separate tracks. So, if you wanted to put a song on your playlist or something, you could just have the song and not the radio interlude.
I mean, I feel like a lot of these songs are sitting in playlists.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think pretty much like almost everything off of this record is just like super catchy and fun. And I think works for pretty much any setting. Yeah, this, I guess some of my favorites are like First It Giveth, which just has like that fucking the chorus on it is just like this rolling guitar riff with this super smooth, harmonious chorus, which is really great.
Yeah.
Also, Go With The Flow. The piano on that track is amazing. I think also the track Gonna Leave You is like, I love that fucking hook. That's like most of this record is just like the hook gets stuck in your head.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my god.
Funny enough, I think my favorite track is probably Six Shooter, which is like the shortest track on this entire album. But like, it's just like, it's so like fast, and I love it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Six Shooter's really great.
Yeah, definitely. Also the second to last track, Song for the Deaf. Just a really, also that one, it's funny how I like the shortest song and the longest song the most. But I don't know, that track is just so catchy. There's like really only a few tracks that I'm not super keen on, and even then I feel like if I just like listened to this album more, they would just grow on me. So not a lot to complain about here, honestly.
Yeah. I don't know. Do we have anything else to say? Because like,
I don't know. Do you want to talk about like other Queens of the Stone Age stuff?
Have you listened to any other
No.
Queens of the Stone Age? Okay. You should like genuinely should really listen to like Clockwork. Fantastic record. Kind of depressing, but
I do plan on it. Actually, I think I'll just listen to Villains just forever.
There you go. I mean, Villains isn't a bad record. It's just like it's not nearly as good as like Clockwork.
Yeah.
But yeah. I don't know. I guess for getting to scores, I think this record is really fantastic. It's just a super catchy, really great rock record that I'd highly recommend everyone check out. I think this record basically Like, it just has something for everyone for the most
Definitely.
part. Like, even
unless
if you
hate the sound of guitars, like
yeah. Even if you like just don't like, even if you like listen to it and you don't like almost everything on the album, I mean, like, guarantee there's at least one song here that you'll enjoy. But yeah, I think this is a great record. I'd give it like a 9 out of 10. I think it's super fun, super catchy, great album.
Yeah, I mean, I can only really agree with that. There's just a lot of great songs. And like it's a really fun listening experience. Yeah, I'm at like a 8 to like an 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah. All right, cool. There you go. That was the album. Go listen to it. Next we have the movie. Brendan, this is your movie.
This is my movie. All right. So a little background. So I had seen Battle Royale. I saw it a while ago because one night I decided to watch Battle Royale by myself, and it was a great decision. I love that movie. And I've been wanting to show it to other people for a while, but like never really had the opportunity. So we didn't have a movie for this week, so I chose this one. We unfortunately we're supposed to have another guest tonight, but
he has been trying to show him this movie for a while.
Yeah.
And he just,
because I feel like Mike would love this movie. But also I watched it with some friends on Friday. So that was they had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
What is this movie? This movie is so like it's Hunger Games. It's what Hunger Games was definitely inspired by. Like Suzanne Collins doesn't directly say that, but like definitely. There's a lot of the tropes that you see in like the Battle Royale genre. It's literally called the Battle Royale genre. You see them established here. I think, well, technically in the book that this movie was based off of, but this movie definitely popularized it. It's weird. It's very Japanese. There's a lot of gore, and it gets really fucked up at points. But it's just like such a fun experience.
Yeah, this is like Hunger Games, but like the actual reason for why they're doing it makes literally no sense. Quite literally, it's the reason why this is happening is because the government wants to make the youth, like, bring the youth in line.
Yeah, so they're trying to use fear tactics, essentially. By taking one random class, or not like random, it's a class of bad kids, and sticking them on an island and making them fight to the death until there is a single victor left.
Yeah. Give me one sec. I'm sorry, 1 sec. I'm gonna like delete files. I just got a warning that storage was running low. But yeah, so it is a battle to the death. It's weird. It's like fear tactics, but it doesn't make sense. It's not like televised.
Well, it seems that it like sort of is, because we see, well, the games itself aren't televised, but you see at the beginning that the victor that was the little girl, and like there's all the news and stuff about that.
Yeah.
We never see that again though.
There was the news covering that, but that was kind of it.
Yeah.
Like, and it doesn't seem like there's anything there that implies that it's televised.
It doesn't seem like the game itself is televised.
Yeah, it just seems like, also it seems like the kids don't know about it.
Exactly.
Which is so weird, because like there's a ton of media coverage at first.
Well, yeah, I feel like that was just, they needed to exposit somehow, so you just have the kids not know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's fucking weird. This movie's wild. It's really stupid.
Oh yeah.
But it's fun.
There's there's so many like little things that I didn't pick up on the first time. Like, so there's this one part where these two girls, they go out in the open. They're like, "Hey, let's all have a truce," and one of them has a megaphone, and then you realize that girl's weapon that she got, that was the megaphone. That was her weapon.
Oh,
like,
man.
Because each one gets a random weapon to start out with. Some people just get an assault rifle, and some people get a megaphone or binoculars or a pot lid. And it's like, well,
it
was unfair.
Yeah. It's very... This is a very campy movie.
Yes.
It's very over the top. There's definitely parts where I was kind of just like, what? This is so stupid at this point. There are conflicts that don't make the most sense. I
like
guess.
What?
There's like, I guess they're kids. Like the lighthouse part where all the girls just kill each other.
It's so much fun.
It's so funny. It's just the entire time I was like, what? Why?
Yeah. Well, one thing I think a lot of this stuff you can, if you want this movie to have a message, it definitely can. I feel like this movie does a good job of like juxtaposing the poor decision making of children with like the dire consequences of adulthood.
Yeah.
And like it definitely it's so weird because there are times where this movie is just like a teen romance movie. And there's just people dying every second. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one thing I don't know what my favorite thing about this movie is. There's a lot of things that just like I really enjoy, I guess, when I watch it. I think like watching it around the second time definitely made me realize like, hey, if you want to interpret this movie as having a deeper meaning than just like, let's all watch some kids try and kill each other, which I know that like makes it sound bad, but I swear. But there, like, you can definitely try and like dig into it and stuff. And there's the whole thing with the teacher, where, like, what is his deal, and the idea of like hurt people, stuff like that. Especially with the girl Mitsuko, where like she had a fucked up childhood. Her mom literally accepted money from a pedophile. Oh, well, by the way, like, content warning for this pedophilia, rape, death, lots of things. We're talking about Battle Royale here. I'm sorry. Should have said that earlier. Yeah. But like her mother literally accepted money from a pedophile to let her play with her kid, and then her kid kicked him down the stairs and he died. It's like ridiculous. Didn't need to see that because that girl dies like 2 seconds later. But it's like there's a reason, you know, she's not just fucked up because, you know. Also the teacher and stuff. One thing, at the end of the movie, the thing that always gets me is like they riddle the teacher with bullet holes, and then his phone rings and he just gets up to pick up the phone.
Oh yeah, that's the funniest that happened, and I was like, what the fuck?
And he picks up the phone, he's like, yeah, I'm not coming home, and he like hangs up and then just dies.
It's like, so what the fuck? Genuinely, like, that happened. I was just like, what? People get shot like 20 times and they still like will walk for a little bit in this film. It's kind of absurd. Also, no one shoots anyone in the head. There's this one moment when he's being chased by like the psychopath guy who doesn't talk.
Yeah. Kiria, I think.
Yeah, and he just stops to reload, and he shoots him multiple times in the chest, or he shoots him once and it doesn't work, and then he shoots him in the chest again, and just like, why didn't you aim for his head? I don't understand it.
Also, you see that nobody, like, none of these kids know how to handle guns because they keep on sticking their guns in people's faces, which is not the correct range for a gun, by the way.
There's
this thing called the 20-foot rule. So
there's this one girl who confronts the other girl who kills a ton of people, and she just is like holding the gun like 3 inches from her face, and I'm just like, what? You know she can grab the gun at that point, right?
I mean, yeah. They're dumb kids. I also love some of the things about how it like portrays the high school stereotypes in like this kind of extreme scenario. Like there's that one kid that's like, I'm gonna get the good grades, I'm gonna go to a good school. It's like, just going insane. It's like, dude, you're holding a gun. Calm down.
Oh man, it's kind of weird. I feel like this movie, it's like really fucked up.
Oh yeah.
But it's still supposed to be like really campy. I feel like that gets in the way of it a little bit because there are times where it's just like, Jesus fuck, why this sucks, but like other times where it's just so ridiculous that you can't take it seriously at all. And it's really fun, but like that definitely clashes a bit.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Because it tries to have its serious moments. Like at the beginning of the games when like the friends are being forced against friends, and the couples that like go out together and stuff like that. It's like that's some rough stuff. And then there's 20 gallons of blood that just spurred out of people a minute later.
Yeah.
So one fun fact my friend told me about that is that like trope started because of in like some samurai movie, like the blood bag malfunctioned. Sanjuro. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I don't know if specifically it's Sanjuro, but that's like the famous scene from that film is like, it's like the very end of the film, and one guy just like, it's like a samurai duel, and he just like cuts the other guy, and fucking blood splurts out. Great film. Would recommend.
Yes. Anything Kurosawa.
Yeah. Yeah.
God. Man. Hunger Games, so much worse.
Hunger Games also at least makes like a little bit of sense.
Yeah, but like that's kind of its downfall.
Sure, that's true. I don't. It is so weird. I can't get over how little sense it makes, because it's like, what is the point of like their explanation literally does not make sense. It's like it's supposed to put fear into teens to help to control them or something.
I think so, because like you can see that it's a rough and wild world out there, because the teens they just don't follow rules. Like they just didn't come to school, right? And one knifed a teacher.
Yeah, the main character's best friend knifed
a teacher. Yes.
It's just, but like any like normal country, like even like an insane country would like not do this, because it literally doesn't make sense. Like if you're going to instill fear, at least like heavily publicize that, like if you like, because it's so weird because it's random selection too.
Yeah,
it's not like they punish the class that is the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, you better fucking behave or you're gonna be put into a death match. It's literally random, so it's like, what? And they don't, it's not like it's not publicized, or because like they don't know about it.
No,
they're really confused when they're there. They're like, what's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't need to make sense. Like, yeah, that's part of this movie.
Yeah.
So many things just don't need to make sense. Where is this island? And like, it seemed like people lived on the island, or some people, because there was like a clinic.
Yeah, they said the island had been. They said the island had been evacuated.
So they just requisitioned an entire island just to have some kids kill each other.
Yeah.
That's efficient.
Yeah.
Also, there's some things just, and they have like this huge military presence there to like keep the kids from, you know, cheating and stuff. Like maybe use that military to like keep the kids in line, like before putting them in a death match.
Good idea. Why not? Like, there's so many
martial
like
law
options.
Is a thing.
Why not like have kids just like conscripted into the military automatically or something? And it's like you go to a military school that's super strict or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would like actually sort of make sense. That wouldn't work. But it would like make sense at least.
But we don't need that.
Also, why is the guy, the main teacher, he just like walks out into the battlefield at one point to find.
Oh yeah, that's weird, and it's not ever. There's many things that aren't ever explained.
Yeah.
But it seems like he can kind of, because like the military is, they seem to be kind of listening to him. He's their boss in this situation, which is weird. Because I don't know why he has any power, but he does. Because he also, like, there's that point at the end where they're like, oh, we gotta go check the bodies, and he's like, nah, it's fine, and they're just like, oh, okay.
It's so weird also that they make it. Fuck, it's weird. He's somewhat sympathetic in a way.
He is. He definitely is.
But like at the beginning of the movie, he throws a knife into a girl's head just because she talks up. Like she's just whispering or something. She's just like, "Fuck you." It's just like, if you're going to make him sympathetic, like don't have him do that.
No, that scene is so necessary. It's just so out of left field. It's just like the movie. I love how this movie just goes from like 0 to 100 and then back to 0. Just it's fucking whiplash.
Yeah. I can also the girl who's like a psychopath in the film. We get her backstory too, and there's the guy who's completely silent, who's like the transfer student. And we don't know anything about him. He's basically just a robot who's there to kill people.
We started calling him the Terminator while we were watching it on Friday, because that's all he is.
Yeah, I know. There's no like reason for it. He just wanted to kill people.
Exactly. They say he's the only one who's volunteered for it. Which is like, yeah, that's real fucked.
Wait, if he's
it seems like they forced the other transfer student Kawada into it. Who is a very interesting character, honestly. I love Kawada. He's cool.
Yeah.
He's a cool dude.
They do like a weird. They do a good job of giving everyone like backstories in the film.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. They show the same basketball. They show the same basketball game like 5 or 6 times.
That basketball game was very important to a lot of character development.
And it's just like, does everyone just remember this one basketball game?
The idea there is to show that they were all happy together, right? And they could have all like worked together and done good things, but you know, when you sort of like put any kind of pressure on that, it just falls apart.
Them working together, like, I mean, pressure of there's a bomb strapped to your neck and it's gonna go off in 3 days.
Exactly.
If there's more than one person left alive.
I mean, to be fair, there was already one person in that game who knew how to get around that, and 3 other of them seem to have figured it out, so hey.
Okay, it's weird. Was the bomb stopped because of the hack that happened?
It seems like it.
Okay.
It's never really explained either. So there's the thing where it's like the kids are trying to hack the system and trying to get off like the necklaces and get out of there and stuff like that. And it's definitely like that dude's virus that like infects their computers and stuff.
Yeah.
But however, the teacher at the end seems to assert that Kawada was the one who broke the necklaces.
Yeah.
Which we never see how. Like, if it was him. So I don't know.
It's weird.
It doesn't matter.
This movie doesn't make any sense, and it's fine. There's also these danger zones that they keep highlighting. It is not relevant at all to the plot. We never see what happens if you're in one.
I think just the neck thing explodes if you're in one.
Okay, we never see what happens, so we never see that. And also, it's never important. Like, there's one time where he's like they write them down and they avoid them, but then there's one time where Kawada's like, hey, we're near a danger zone, be careful.
Yeah, and then it's fine.
It's just, like, it literally does not matter.
Yeah. The idea of the danger zones, I think it probably matters more in the book, but it's because it constricts the map. Yeah. Right? So it's like the wall in Fortnite.
Yeah.
But yeah, the idea is that as it gets close to the end, you really you feel more like constricted. Which it's like fortunate for those dudes who were in that like that abandoned factory or whatever it was.
That it was never on them.
Yeah, that was never a danger zone.
Yeah, it's amazing no one ever ran into them either until the end.
That's true. I mean, there was that one dude with the tracker, but like he had a tracker, so.
Yeah. I don't know. This movie's kind of all over the place in a lot of ways.
It really is.
Very fun, but very stupid. I don't know.
It's just such. I just have so much fun with it. Like, I would just highly recommend this film. If you're looking, like, it's weird and it's gory and it can approach some very difficult subjects.
Gory from the neck down. Literally, there is never a time where anyone gets shot in the head, ever.
One dude gets his head chopped off.
Yeah.
And then a grenade stuck in his dead, decapitated head.
Yeah, and you don't get to
see. That grenade doesn't kill anybody, even though they're within like 10 feet. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
He only ever uses the one grenade too. Like we see him pick up multiple grenades.
Yeah.
Idiot.
Dude literally kills. I don't even know how many kills he got. He got like 20 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, a ton.
He never ran out of assault rifle ammo.
Yeah.
Well, he did like the one time he was chasing Nanahara.
Yeah. His clip ran out, and then he starts reloading right in front of him, and it's the point where he shoots him in the chest multiple times instead of the fucking head, which would have solved his problems.
No, I do like just how threatening he is, though.
Yeah.
Like, because you just see him just absolutely murdering everybody. And it's like, I would not want to be around this guy. You know? Ruthless.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a weird film.
Yeah?
It's pretty wild. Yeah, I guess we're close to wrapping up talking about it.
I mean, I don't know. I respect it so much, just for vibing. Honestly, it's what it does. This movie just vibes. You know, we wouldn't have Fortnite if it weren't for Battle Royale, probably.
Yeah. We wouldn't have Minecraft Hunger Games if it wasn't for Battle Royale. I also wanted to say I actually like the character arcs too of the main characters. It's a pretty satisfying ending.
Yeah, I'd say
to the film. I'd say it's like very positive despite what happened. Where it's like, you know, they're wanted, but like they're free.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I can't imagine the trauma from all that though. I guess.
Yeah, it never kind of is weird. It's a film that deals with trauma of how people who are hurt lash out at other people.
Mm-hmm.
But it never really deals with the trauma of killing many people.
Yes.
So yeah.
I mean, well, there's the one girl that makes a
Kills
mistake
herself.
and immediately regrets her decision.
Yeah, she kills herself.
Yeah. But I mean, that barely deals with it.
Yeah.
It's... God, that whole lighthouse scene is insane.
It's really stupid. People get shot like 30 fucking times, and they're just doing like the default fuck kid, I'm getting hit with a bunch of bullets thing.
Which is weird because there's earlier in the movie, this one dude gets hit with... Two people get hit with one crossbow bolt. Okay, one was through the neck, so like understandable. The other dude was it was like in the chest area.
Yeah.
It wasn't even that bad.
Mm.
He's just gone. He's dead.
Yeah. All right. So that
Yeah, Battle Royale. I would recommend Battle Royale personally.
It's an interesting experience.
Yes. I wouldn't go into it expecting Hunger Games if that's what you want.
Yeah.
It's a different beast.
It's pretty wild. It's weird. Do you have any other thoughts? I don't know.
Wild, weird, and we need another W.
Wacky.
Wacky. Wacky is a good word. Those are kind of... All three of those are kind of synonyms, though.
What other W words would you use?
Water. Nope.
Women.
There are women in this film, yes. What?
Witherspoon. Reese Witherspoon.
Oh man, if she was in Battle Royale. Weird. Yeah. Anyways, I feel like we can do some scores.
Yeah.
I'll go first. I love this film. Like, it's such a fucking trip. I really enjoy watching it. I would recommend, as I've said, Battle Royale, great film. 9 out of 10.
Yeah, this film is wild. I only watched it today, so it's still kind of sitting with me. I think I'd give it like a 7. I think it's good. It was like a 7 to an 8, but I think it's more a 7 just because of how fucking like opposite ends of the spectrum the tone is at points.
Yeah, that tonal whiplash can really drag it.
It's very fun. I guess these types of movies I kind of prefer to be more like Evil Dead, where it's just like insanity the entire time, and like it's I guess it's like in Evil Dead, I wouldn't say you don't care about the characters, but you understand that it's literally just fucking insane shit the entire time, whereas this really tries to make you care about the characters, and it does at points. Like, I think the main character,
the main guy and girl, yeah,
and also I forget
Kawada,
Kawada, yeah, they're like all pretty well defined, but it's definitely like it's kind of all over the place in a lot of respects.
Yeah,
it's very fun, but be prepared.
Definitely.
Oh man, it opens so weird. It literally opens with like the main character's father, like him just walking in on his father, hanging himself.
Definitely. This movie, like, it throws you right into it too, because like you see that to start out, and also it's not that long before they get kidnapped and put on the island. Like, it really just it doesn't dawdle.
Yeah.
It knows what you're here for.
Yeah. Fun, interesting experience, I guess. Yeah. I kind of wish the fucking teacher... I wish the teacher wasn't made sympathetic in a lot of ways. And kind of... Mm-hmm. The way he's introduced is literally, like... We know he gets, like, stabbed by a student and stuff. Yeah. And it's like, oh, man, that sucks. But then, like, the way he's introduced is he fucking kills 2 people.
Yeah.
Literally. And it's just like, oh, he's a piece of shit. It does... So, like...
It definitely it's weird. It definitely seems like he was kind of just on a power trip at that point. Like, but like killing kids while you're on a power trip, maybe not the best idea.
It's weird because like if he just didn't kill them, or if there was like an army guy who killed them instead or something,
mm-hmm.
maybe it could have been like better handled.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean. It does like. Having him be sympathetic makes and like flawed. The flaws never really come back, but like it makes for a really interesting ending. Well, I guess it makes it more threatening at the end when he does pull the gun, though.
Kind of.
It's like I don't know. I knew like even if it was a real gun, which it's not, but even if it was, like he would never shoot Noriko. So.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either. Also, I just want to say, watching this movie, if you're watching it the first time, it's probably really difficult to keep track of who's who. Yeah, because there's like 40 kids.
I thought the opening of the film where you see the girl like who won, I thought that was like going to be like part of the end of the film, and it's not. It's just an introduction to the battle royale. So yeah, I don't know. I thought that was a character. I thought that was the one of the leads, and I was like, wait, oh, it wasn't? Okay.
Yeah. I guess not. It's yeah.
But yeah, interesting film. What a recommendation.
Well, now you've seen it, so
yeah. So yeah, I think that about wraps up the podcast.
I would agree.
So yeah, next week we got the question of the week, which is gonna be, what's the most underrated album of all time? Then for the album, I forgot what we chose.
Well, Kobe didn't give me an answer. We can change it, but. Right now, it's going to be The Moon and Antarctica by Modest Mouse.
Yeah, okay. I was thinking the Korn record we were talking about, but no.
We could do Korn.
No, we're good.
Okay.
Yeah. So The Moon and Antarctica by Modest Mouse, and then the movie is going to be Big Monkey versus Big Lizard, Godzilla versus Kong. Let's go. I'm so excited.
Monkey
punch.
We're not going to have an intelligent discussion about this movie next week.
No, I can't wait to see the part of the film where Godzilla and Kong make out. This is the one I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that wraps it up. For the show. Yeah.
It does. We'll have a good night.
Yeah.